Good morning, dear friends, and welcome to the world of the International Fabtalks. Fabtalks is all about connecting with wonderful people across India and the world as well. When we find wonderful people who have done the best till date, no matter what they have faced in their lives, the ups and downs, the different twists and turns that we all face in life, is really very difficult sometimes for many of us to handle. But when people handle it in the right way and take their journey ahead, when they focus on becoming a great professional, focusing on their career, that makes them unique because they want to give back to the society in a very positive way. They want to influence people in this world in the right way. When we meet such kind of personalities, we invite them to the International Fab Talks to share their journey and to inspire us and to celebrate their life. Join us, friends, to welcome our celebrity and guest for today. Is a wonderful person joining us from the lovely city called as Madurai, which is located in Tamil Nadu, India. He is none other than S. Ahil Rishi Rajasekaran. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. It's my pleasure too.
Thank you very much, sir, for being very humble and polite and accommodating, very flexible. I've seen that while connecting with you. You're a nice person. And I'd love the youth of India to be somewhat like you, more polite, more understanding, more approachable. With your permission, I go ahead and share your profile and then we begin the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So friends, I'd like to share the profile of our celebrity and guest for today. As you know, it's a duty and a honor as well. So we have with us, as I earlier mentioned, S. Ahil Rishi Rajasekaran. He's an assistant professor in the Department of Biotechnology in the American College, Madurai. He's also the author, the author or the founder, you could say, of Rock Art of Madurai. He's a writer as well. That's really nice. The prehistoric, let me put all of that right. Is the author of Rock Art of Madurai, the Prehistory of a Civilization. I got it right now. And the founder of Friends of Madurai Trust. Now, what is all of this? We'll get to know more. I just like to go deeper and share his profile to get a deeper understanding as to who Sir is. Now, he has won several awards and rewards, and he's been given that space and respect with regard to his work and his education. So let's put it all in the right way. He has already qualified for the NET, that is the National Eligibility Test with 98.2 percentile. That's really very nice. He's also completed his entire education. He's been a very good student till date, and that's how he excels to inspire the youth. Now he's completed his ISC, that is his schooling. Then he went on to complete his BSc and then his MSc, and thereon he's qualified for the NET exams, the National Eligibility Test, to put that in the right way. Now, his focus during the post-graduation period was focusing on microbiology. That was his research project. And we'll ask him about that. He's very much interested with regard to the science part, the biology part, and all of that. So let's get to know more now about Sir. Presently, he is the assistant professor, as I mentioned earlier, in the Department of Biotechnology, the American College Madurai, since 2022 till date. He's also the guest faculty in B.Voc Horticulture Department in the American College since 2021. And he's also a part-time volunteer in Ring of Hope project in the Aravind Eye Care System during 2017 and 19. Worked with the Ocular oncology team, aiming to prevent the loss of life and loss of vision caused by retinoblastoma. That's really very nice. When you get to meet people like this, it's really inspiring. And it's also connected with, his work is also connected with clinical data management, organizing events for retinoblastoma survivors and their family. His work is also extended to clinical management of ocular lymphoma patients. If I'm getting all of those terms right, if I mispronounce anything, kindly forgive me, friends. And there's something here much more important, which is connected with validation of the smartphone-based, leukorrhea, if I could get that, detection application for early detection of retinoblastoma. So that's something very much important. We should get to know from Sir as to what it is, because we always are connected with the mobile phones and the visual outcome of post-chemotherapy and bilateral retinoblastoma, if I get that right, retinoblastoma cases. Retrospective study and all of that. He's also been into part-time marketing with regard to, let me put it right, part-time marketing intern in Read a Bit Learning. library in Madurai for the past like 15 days. That was in the year 2018 during the Madurai Book Expo. That's really nice. You see, so many things he has. I don't know what to share. Such a young person and being able to put his head and heart and soul into all of this. Whereas we have the other youth, like a few of them in movies, fun, entertainment, ragging, bullying, wasting their time. We have people like Ahil sir focused on doing the best. Now, he's also completed a training on gas chromatography, if I could put that right, mass spectrum, voltometer, ELISA reading, if I could put all of that. There's so much that he's been doing that's very nice. And he's also connected with animal cell culture techniques. He's attended a workshop on that as well, DNA amplification, and the various other things he's connected with is art and science of methodical scientific writing and publishing of high impact journals. That's really nice. And he's also connected with a workshop connected with Chat GPT and AI tools connected by Skill Nation India. And he has won Best Poster Award for the poster Screening of Blood Candidemia among cervical and breast cancer patients. Wow, that's great. In the National Conference on Advanced Biochem Development 2018, organized by Sri Sarada Niketan College for Women, Karaikudi, Tamil Nadu, India. He presented a paper titled, a comparative study of behavior with regard to various aspects that they're all biological terms. I'm just cutting them off, which is connected to microbiology and all of it. Sir will share that with us. That's really nice. He also presented a poster titled Retroviral Mediated Germline Therapy. Now, see, all of these are so high to the common man. Yes, so that's really nice. I'm really impressed. And he's also been, posting something connected with the environment, impact of environmental pollution on ocular diseases. Now, I for sure don't know what is this ocular disease. Now, like this, we need people to come out like this and share their journey as to what they are into and how they would like the people to stay safe and not to fall a prey to the environment or get affected by the negative aspects of the environment. There's much, much more to this young gentleman. I would like to cut short it and, take you ahead and take the session ahead with Sir. I just like to focus on one more important thing. Friends of Madurai, he's the founder of that, which is a team of active and inspiring people. And, they always join together, collect together, and they try to improve the lives and the quality of the youngsters, working for the conservation as well of biodiversity, sustainable growth of Madurai. That's really nice. It was later registered as a social welfare trust. And some of the Friends of Madurai accomplishments are they signed a memorandum of understanding between the Friends of Madurai Trust and the American College Madurai, March 2022, to educate students on conservation in biodiversity. That is, when you improve the mindset or improve the quality of the thought process of the youngsters by making them indulge in the environmental aspects or, the developmental aspects, that's really nice. So Friends of Madurai is doing a wonderful job. They have produced more than 400 native tree saplings so far. And that's there so far through MOU, and are working up to set up a nursery in the college for native trees and plant saplings. Friends of Madurai is also organizing various talks and training sessions by experts for the various people who are connected to this organization. And they also set up a herbal garden named Project Immunity, wow, in the Vasundhara Residential Enclave, Andalpuram, for its residents in May 2021. And my dear friends, there is such a lot. And I tell you, if I continue to share Sir's profile, it'll take another 20-30 minutes. It's such a vast one. He's done such a lot for all of us. We'll just cut short it now and dive into the session to get to know more about Sir, his work, why he is into so much of work, what's the purpose that he has found in life to take ahead this journey and to be an inspiration to one and all, including me. I wish I was so talented or, so energetic at his age to do what he's doing right now. And I somewhere feel guilty that I wasted my time. I think many of you would be like me and agree with me. So thank you so much for being here. You have an impressive profile. I might have mispronounced a few words. Kindly forgive me for that. Now, sir, how would you define yourself? Who is the real Ahil? How would you define it for your students and for your colleagues, for unknown people across the world? Who is the real Ahil?
To put that into simple words, I would say I'm a highly motivated young man who always wants to do something more, to do more, to be more, and to become more, and who does not want to settle for anything less. So I just want to keep doing something new. I just want to keep exploring, keep extending my areas and exploring new areas.
A very brief explanation about yourself, but very crisp. You see, that's very nice. I don't want to settle for anything. I just want to keep improving myself and contributing, my time and effort for the right kind of things. That's really nice. And I would like, to the world to be like that. I would wish I had a son like you, very focused on, the study part or maybe the professional part or improving the quality of lives of the people around you. It's really nice. I think every mother would be proud to have a child like you. That's for sure. That's
Thank you
really
so much.
nice. Sir, let me know, how did you develop the interest in microbiology? And when did this begin? As a kid, were you interested in planting trees and connected with all of the aspects connected with microbiology? Or it started at a later age?
No, like as a kid, I was in an area. My house was located in a neighborhood which had a very rich diversity, which had a very good nature, and we have a small tank or what we call as convoy near our house, just adjacent to our house. So right from my very young age, I had been observing a lot of birds and small mammals that used to visit the tanks and that reside there. So my interest towards nature, my attraction towards nature started from then. But coming to microbiology, so when I was in my 11th and 12th standards, when I was in my higher studies, we were a small group of students in biology group, and we used to spend all our biology classes in the biology laboratory in our school. So we used to have all basic instruments that was needed for a student back then. And I was very much interested in microscopes. So I used to disassemble them and then again assemble them. So this was a process. I used to like literally play with those microscopes, observing random things that I could find around the lab under the microscope. So seeing that, my biology teacher, Mrs. Janet Frieda, so she was the first one who told me, she was a microbiologist. So she was the first one who told me, like, as you have a good skills and interest towards microbiology, you can become a microbiologist. You are very good at preparing and handling saplings and instruments. So you should one day become microbiologist. So that is how I got introduced to the field of microbiology. So post my schooling, I joined the microbiology department in the American college, and then that's how I slowly started developing myself in microbiology. So that's how the journey of microbiology began.
Wonderful, sir. And like when you explained about your childhood connecting and with the animals, connecting with nature, observing the different birds and the little animals that came close to that water body. And I could visualize that the way you put it, I could visualize that very nicely. That's really wonderful. Now, sir, there are many of the people, including me, like I just know the word microbiology, but actually I don't know what it is in depth. If you can just explain it in 2 lines for us, like in the common man's language, without being too scientific, what is microbiology for us in simple terms?
Microbiology is a branch of biology, as it says, and it entirely deals with the organisms that, in simple terms, we can say that microbiology is a field that deals with the living organisms that cannot be seen with our naked eyes. So that needs some aid to be visualized. So it's about bacteria, fungi, virus, protistas. So it's all about the microbiological or microscopic world. So all the living organisms in the microscopic world comes under, we study that in microbiology, and as well about the molecular and other aspects, what we study in microbiology or molecular biology, where we get to know about the genetics of human beings, the molecular systems of human beings and other animals as well, any living being for that kind. So that's what it focuses about. Anything that is not visible, anything that is related to life, but is not visible to naked eyes.
Wow, thank you so much. I'll tell you, till this date, I did not know all of that. Either I had to Google it up quickly. So now I get to know that now this is what is called as microbiology. I think many of the other people would thank you for sharing that in very simple terms to make us understand what it is. That's really nice. Thank you so much, sir. Now, sir, you are a professor now. Like you've been a professor right from 2022. You joined the American College as a professor. Now, how does it feel to be a professor at this young age?
It's easy to be a professor at a very young age because we can easily connect with the mindsets of the students. So we know how to deal with them. We know what they will expect from us. And when they are getting out of a hand a little bit, then we will know how, in what ways we can bring them into our control. And it's quite easy because the mindset of us, we are just, so we know how to deal. It's easy to manage students at this age. And they also get connected to us very well. They don't have that barrier between the student or professor. Barrier doesn't exist between a young professor and students. So when they get connected to us easily, then we can mentor them easily, and we can bring them up the way we want them to be. So it's quite easy.
Yes, that's really nice. Very, very, very inspiring. Now, sir, there will be a lot of, colleagues around us. And, you have very experienced ones, who have spent many years into the profession. And the ones in the senior seat, like sitting as the boss or maybe as the principal and the management and all. Now, how do you deal with all of them? And what is your rapport with all of them? Because you're a young professor, so do you find it easy to coordinate and connect with them such that the answer that you give could really inspire the younger ones that yes, it's okay to jump in the field and to be your best at an early age than to wait for a long time?
So actually, right from my young age, let it be any higher official I had from my schooling days where I had my headmaster, my principal in school, or in Aravind Eye Care System, my reporting authority was Dr. Usha Kim. And in the college, my principal is Dr. Daumani Christopher sir. So all these people, I'm lucky enough and I'm blessed to have a very supporting higher officials. And the main thing to note in all these people are they give us the full freedom to work. So I think that is very much important for us to gain more and to experiment many new things. So I had always got the full freedom to work, be it anywhere, and they're also very much supportive. So when the topmost officials are favorable and when the topmost officials are supportive and encouraging, you don't see the problems doesn't arise from anywhere else. So I think I'm blessed in that way. And talking about my college principal, Dr. Damani Christopher sir, I know him from when I was a student. I know him from then. And this Friends of Madurai Trust, it was started when I was a student, when I was in my final MSc. So at that time, I signed a MOU with the college. So being a student in the college, I signed a memorandum of understanding with the college. And from then, he supported me a lot and he gave me the freedom to do a lot of things. So when I was a student, we set up an arboretum in our college. It was named as Eden Arboretum, which is exclusively dedicated to endangered and rare species of native trees. So we dedicated an area for planting and conserving this endangered and rare native trees, and which will be used in the future for their conservation purpose. It was 3 or 4 years before, and they are in a very good stage now. So they have to grow more and they have to start yielding seeds and stuff. So we are waiting for that. And meantime, we are also doing some taxonomical conservation projects. So I'm lucky enough to have a supportive high officials. So that has been always a good thing, and that has been the reason for me to have done so many things. Because without the support from the upper side, no, sorry, the higher officials, we can't engage ourselves in so many things. If they start restricting us, then we have to be sticking to what our job role is, and we have to be just doing that. But as I got the freedom to go beyond my job role and experiment new things, it was again easy for me to do, and it was a very encouraging and motivating for me to do new things as
well. Well answered. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. So, and I'm amazed, like you have a wonderful flow when you speak. You have a wonderful flow when you speak. You have a high level of confidence, like you're ready to take on any question. That's the confidence we love all of everyone to have it, especially the youth, to, face any question and give the answer that comes like with the flow, a genuine answer. Now, sir, What about your friends? How do they look up at you? And like they say, like, Ahil, you have reached somewhere there and we are somewhere here. Or do they come for you for any advice or maybe career guidance or something like that? Your relationship with your friends, your school friends and college friends.
Yeah, of course, my friends are also well placed and they are in very good places. And it's not like they do come to me for some career advice or any guidance, and I do go to them for if I have anything to get to know new things from them, or if I need any advice, I go to them. They are also my to go place, and it goes both the ways. So my friends, of course, they have also been supportive. I think I'm really blessed in this way that the people around me have been a very good set of people. So this Friends of Madurai, to be particular, it was started by just three friends. It was started with three friends. We clubbed together, we put our own money, we put our own pocket money, and we started doing new things. And then again, the new friends started coming in, and they never expected anything back from the team. And we didn't have much to give also. So all we had was the satisfaction of what we did to the society. So that was enough for us. That kept us together, and it's a successful trust even now. We continue to do so many things. So I had always got a very good friends. They also, when they get to know about an opportunity that might benefit me, they were always ready to share it with me. And I have such friends that who are really happy to have me around, and they are really happy about what I am. So I think it's really a blessing as well. And my friends as well, they are in marine research. They are in topmost companies. They have got a job role in topmost companies. There are entrepreneurs. There are badminton coaches there. We have a very good circle of friends, and they are happy to have me, and I'm happy to have them.
Wonderful, wonderful. A beautiful way to explain friendship, It's not one-sided. Like you say, oh, they come to me. See, you said even I, reach out to them during my times of need, or maybe when I like to talk to them or need any kind of assistance. I'm always open to asking for help and even giving help. Because many of the youngsters, they don't want to put their foot out because of ego. They don't want to ask for help. They are like within themselves. So this is a beautiful message, like depending on friends for the right kind of reasons or for the right amount of help that you need, or the time that they could give you. That's really very nice. In fact, a friend, if it's friendship, it should be give and take. It's not only take or either give, it should be give and take. You've really explained the term friendship very well, and lots of respect to all your friends who are connected with you, especially the friends of Madurai. Yes, and the others as well. That's wonderful, sir. Now, sir, the biggest question: who is your role model? Or we'll put it in this way: who always or constantly inspires you in life?
Yeah, I can't name a particular person for this aspect because I'm always ready to be inspired by anyone around me. I take inspirations from anything and anyone I see around me. Especially for, I would like to mention a person, my grandmother, Dr. C. Rajeshwari Chalaya. She was the one who wanted me to be like what I am today. She was, she had motivated me a lot, and she always pushed me into places where I could learn a lot of things. She never let me settle in my comfort zone. So she had always been pushing me, like it's not just in recent times, right from the days I remember. It may be when I was 4 years old or 3 years old. I remember her teaching me Tamil when I was hardly 2 years old. So she started me Tamil at that time itself. So she was not that kind of person who would let the like he's a very small kid, let him have some time for himself, or let him enjoy the life now. She was not a person of that kind. She was always pushing me to do something. It was not a pleasant experience back then, but now I realize that it was very important for me. It was the reason I'm here. So I should thank her at this period of time, and also everyone else who have been so supportive with me. And speaking about inspirations, I draw it from anywhere. Let that be a let that be anyone. Let them be below our, or let him be a student, or let him be a small kid, or let him be a elder person. Be it anyone. See, everyone has something that we have to learn from them. Everyone has something to teach us. So we have to be always open to that. I love to listen to stories. Let it be any random people. I used to travel a lot, and I do travel a lot. So and I also travel alone a lot of times. So when I get a fellow commuter with me, I used to interact with them. I'm not a silent type of person when it comes to strangers. I always want to interact with strangers. I listen to their story. I learn from their stories. So it's even that story has something to teach us. Because what I believe is that gaining all the experience by ourselves takes us a lot of time to learn what is happening in the earth. So we can gain our experience from others. So in that way, we can also step up a little bit. If I'm hearing a story from a 60-year-old woman, I'm getting a 60-year-old experience. So that is making me a little bit more advanced than what others know. So it's important to learn from other stories. So you don't need to learn it when it comes to you. You can be prepared when it comes to you. So it's always everyone who I get inspired.
I'm really impressed and amazed the way you answer. You see, that's really very nice. Yeah. And God bless you. And I should say, your grandmother has done a wonderful job, in transforming you. As you said earlier, it was very difficult for you at that time, but now you realize the
Yes.
importance of what she's been trying to do, pushing you away from the comfort zone.
Because
And
the world has become very competitive. The world has become very competitive. And you have to be so much motivated and you have to know a lot of things than what you know. Like if you are an undergraduate and you know what every undergraduate student knows, that is not enough to survive. You should know a little bit more than others. And this helped me. My grandmother's all that pushing helped me to be someone like that.
wonderful, wonderful. Hats off to your grandmother. Now I feel guilty now because always I was like very protective, not protective, overprotective with regarding to my connection with my children. Let them enjoy, and it's let it be. It's like that. So then somewhere I've made a mistake, like always keeping them in comfort zone. So like we need to really push our children a little bit out of the comfort zone to succeed in life, to become very strong and to face all the tough challenges. And I like the way you also said, like you want to uh, connect with strangers, and you do connect with strangers to get to know the experiences, something new. That's really nice. As you said, even if you connect with somebody senior, so all those decades of experiences, it really means a lot. That's wonderful. You put it all in the very right way. Now, sir, you are an author as well. Now, if you could share your journey as an author.
Well, I did not plan to become one, but I had to become one because back in 2019, yeah, it was in 2000, no, it was in 2019. It was in 2019. So in 2019, we started a document. We started documenting the rocks around Madurai. Yes, like a few might know that there are rocks. There are a lot of rocks around Madurai. By rocks, I mean the rocky hillocks, which are not vegetated and they are barren hillocks. So we have a lot around Madurai, and previously we had a very big issue in Madurai that regarding to granite mining. So granite mining or granite quarrying was at its peak in Madurai a decade before 2019. It was somewhere around 2008 to 2010. So at that period of time, a lot of rocks were lost in Madurai for granite quarrying, and again, a lot of people had to like a Jallikattu protest. There was a protest against the granite quarrying in Madurai. A lot of people who belonged to the neighborhoods of that rocks which was being mined, they came out. They came to the streets and they had to protest, and it was a very huge protest, and it was a very tedious one too. And Stagaim IAS was the collector back then, and he played a very good role, and he stopped that quarrying at that period of time. So this was an incident back then, but it was also known that this granite quarrying could resume anytime soon. It was not permanently stopped, and it could come again at any time, at any period of time. So what we wanted to do was, my friends and myself, what we wanted to do was, we just wanted to bring this out to the larger mass, the importance of these rocks. Like a lot of people, even in Madurai, doesn't even know how many such hillocks are there around Madurai. So first, knowing the presence is important, because only then when it is lost, you will know something is lost. So first, you should know that it is present. So in order to bring this to the huge mass, we started documenting each hillock in Madurai. So there are around 20 hillocks in Madurai, such hillocks and such rocks in Madurai. They are single rock formations like the Uluru in Australia, which is so huge, but we have something similar to that here. We have a lot of similar things here, single rock formations. And these single rock formations are rich in granite, but that is not all they are. There's a lot more than importance to the rock than this granite. See, we started researching that. We started searching for that. We used to travel a lot, like every Sunday. Of course, we were college students, so we had halls only on Saturdays and Sundays. So every weekend we used to start from our house. We didn't have a lot of, as we were not earning, we didn't have a lot of money. We would used to carry our lunch boxes because we can't afford a lunch anywhere else in a hotel. So we used to carry our lunch boxes, and we had money only to fuel our vehicles. So we used to fuel our vehicles, just start early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. We would visit rock by rock. So these rocks are located around the outskirts of Madurai. So it's a considerable travel time from our residence to that rocks. So each day we would start from 6 o'clock in the morning. We would go to a rock first, and then we will come. There was very little data on these rocks. Like few of these rocks had inscriptions, Tamil inscriptions that dated back to 2000. Like it dated back 2,300 years. It's to 300 BCE. It dated back to 300 BCE. And we had data about that, but any other data was missing. Like anything else was not known about those rocks. So we just went there and we used to search the entire hillock. We used to go around the hillock, climb. We were climbing a lot of hills and mountains at that period of time. We used to go around it. We used to go behind the shrubs, searching if anything was hidden there. So it was we were very much interested in doing that. We loved that process, but it was also tedious. So each day we will be able to cover only 3 rocks. So if we start early in the morning at 6 o'clock, we will finish it by 8 or 9 at the night. We will return home by 10 o'clock or something like that. But we would have only completed 3 rocks. So we just went there. We used to first we will go and document the Tamil inscription because there was good enough information about that. So we could easily locate them and we could easily document them. And we'll go around searching for any other stuff. We would interact with the villagers. We would interact with the people who are residing there, and we get to know about how the rock is important in their life, in their social framework, how the rock is important. And we ask them if there is anything else, if there is any temple, if there is any cave near the rock, and if they give us the directions, we used to go there and we used to search for things there. So we were doing this as a routine for more than 3 or 4 months. Every weekend, this was our routine. Each day, each friend used to accompany me, or it was a different group each day. But mostly, there were a few friends like Hariharan, Praveen, and these friends were the ones who accompany me frequently. So we went there, and when we documented, we just divided it into a few subcategories. One was the historical importance of the rock. That is about the rocks had a Tamil inscription, which was very important. That dated back to 300 C. The earliest known documents, written documents, was rocks earlier, but now it is all that we get from the archaeology sites. From Kiladi, it has been dated even further earlier. Even earlier datings are available in Kiladi. So, but earlier it was only the rocks. So we documented the inscriptions and then the documented rock arts. So rock arts are the pictograms that was drawn on drawn inside the caves, on the walls of the caves, using a white kaolin or a red ochre. That was white kaolin is a mixture of calcium carbonate and a tree called Vepalai. That Vepalai tree would generate, like, the exact term for it is it would be like milk like formation. The Vepalai tree, if we just pluck a leaf, then you can see milky things dropping from it. It's the sap of the tree actually. So that, along with the calcium carbonate rocks or calcium, was used to form the white kaolin paint, which is in white color. And for red ochre, it was something based on the red soil, red sand, and the other minerals that was found in the rock in that region. So they mixed it and they draw pictograms. These pictograms are believed to be older than the inscriptions because that is how the method of communication has evolved in the past. First, they were drawing pictograms. They were representing their thoughts to pictures and drawings. But later, they developed a language and then they developed the letters and then they started carving those letters. So these pictograms are even more earlier to the inscriptions. But these pictograms hardly got any recognition. They weren't maintained properly. They weren't conserved properly. So whenever you go to a place which has both pictograms, and these pictograms and inscriptions are also found together in certain areas. So when we go to such a site where both of them coexist, there would be proper information about the inscription. The archaeological department would have documented the inscription. It would have kept a board suggesting that there is an inscription here and it means so and so it is protected in archaeology, but nothing would have been mentioned about the pictograms. So, and the pictograms were mostly prone to vandalism. A lot of people used to draw their own stuff about the pictograms without knowing the importance of the pictograms. And it was also erased in certain places. So, in our regular visits, like if we visit a site today and if we visit a site after 3 years, then there would be a huge difference in the number of pictograms present there. A lot of it would have been gone. So this was something that was disturbing. And this is about the history of rocks. So first aspect was the history of rocks. Why is it historically? How is it historically important? And the next thing was its ecological importance. So these rocks, although they look barren, they look dry and as if they do not host any life, as if they do not support any life, but these are very rich in biodiversity. If a rock is present in an area, all its neighborhood, the water for all its neighborhood will be sourced from that rock because it acts as a huge rainwater harvester. And also there will be a lot of springs inside on the surface of the rocks, and those springs will be used as drinking water source by the villages around it. So if we just cut off a rock, then there's a huge probability of the villages around to face a water scarcity. And also it has a lot of birds which is endemic only to those rocks, that it can only reside in those rocky terrains. For example, we have the rock eagle owl, or we have lagar falcon in Artapati. So all these falcons, owls, raptors, and rock thrush birds, all these, they need rocks to survive. Rock is their perfect habitat. So all again, they are also dependent on these rocks. And we have a certain trees and plants which are also comfortable to grow around rocks. They easily grow around rocks and they are also dependent on rocks. So again, this was one important thing. The ecological aspect of rocks was one important thing to be noted, because they do not look so, but still they are a very important component of biodiversity, and they are very important for the region surrounding it to be healthy. So that was one again. And the third one was the social importance, the social impact the rocks had on its residents. So these rocks there are a lot of rocks in Madurai which themselves is considered as a deity. So for example, Yanamalai, the Yanamalai is a single stone rock which is in the shape of an elephant lying. So that's how it got its name, Yanamalai. And the people around it worship the Yanamalai as a god, as a deity. So they are also considered as sacred groves. These rocks are considered as sacred groves. And there is a coil called Malachami Temple in Yanamalai, where they would have applied a sandalwood paste over the rock, and they will just go there and worship there. And we have a temple behind Yanamalai where we have a bell in which it would have written Shri Malaye Tunai, which means the mountain is our savior, the mountain is saving us. And none of the people will climb Yanamalai with footwear. They'll always climb Yanamalai with barefoot, because they consider Yanamalai to be their god, to be their protector. So this is one aspect. And in Keelavalavu, there is a hill where in Keelavalavu and Naritapatti, they have a tradition that whenever a person in that village gets married, they have to come and first worship the rock. The rock is their first place of worship after their marriage. They have to come there, they have to make pongal there and present it to the rock. And that is how they start their marital life. And in Naritapatti, there is a spring called Dharma Tirtham. Dharmam. So in that spring, after marriage, the bride has to go to that spring and get a pot full of water to their house and make pongal out of it, and again present it to the rocks. So this is how they are socially related and they are socially important to the people of Madurai. So again, if you are breaking down or cutting down a rock, then that causes a social agitation. This is the reason behind that. So we documented all these, and we wanted to make it as a video documentation. But as our resources were very much limited at that time, we couldn't bring that out. So as this project was very idle, I just wanted to bring it out in the form of writing as a book. So out of all these, the most important but most unnoticed thing was the rock art. So that was why I selected rock art from like it was just a part of our entire documentation. So the reason for selecting that small part was it was a thing that immediately needed attention, because all these other things like social thing can be protected by the people. The people around the rock will take care of the social thing. They will protect it well. But even the people there have very little knowledge about the rock arts. They are the ones who protect the rock, but they are the ones who are also vandalizing the art. So I thought this needed the first focus. This needed the utmost focus, and so I selected that. And there are around 20 rock art sites in Madurai, around Madurai, in and around Madurai. Around Madurai, in the sense it's around the Madurai city, but inside the Madurai district. So there are 20 such sites, and there's a huge variety of rock arts. It's not just a particular kind of rock art that you can cite in Madurai. We have well detailed arts, and we have stick arts. We have petroglyphs, that is carvings on rocks. So I think this is something that everyone has to know in Madurai, that they have to possess in Madurai. So speaking about rock arts, like outside Tamil Nadu or outside Tamil Nadu in central India as well, in in central India, there is a shelter called Bimbetka shelter. So there, the government has protected this rock art very well. There are multiple caves there, but they only allow people to visit some 2 or 3 caves, and all the remaining caves are prohibited to visitors. They are well preserved. And anywhere else in the world, there is a lot of research going on rock art. There is a lot of fundings for rock arts, and it's a well researched area, and it's a well valued area of research around the world. But I'm not sure if it is because we have too many here, but the importance we give here is very less when compared to other places of the world. But we have a lot of rock art here. So it's important for us to be proud about this and for us to start observing it.
Amazing. It's just excellent what you've shared. I've been like waiting and listening it so patiently. You've explained that very well. Now I'm really amazed, like, how did you develop an interest with the rocks, and you transformed it into writing all the data that you've collected, getting to know the historical background, the significance, social significance that it has, the inscriptions, as you've mentioned, the pictorial pictures, or as you've mentioned, that how they were written, with what material was used to write and to carve those thing, or paint or write or draw. All of that was really magical when you was sharing. I was like taken back to my history books and all of that. That's really very nice. And I have a fascination for stones, rocks, and with the simple thought that maybe I will find a diamond, or maybe I'll find a ruby or some emerald like there. So I was associating all of that thought when you were sharing that. You shared it at a very high level. That's very, very nice. Very
Thank you.
impressive. Very impressive. That's so nice. And I hope you get the right kind of guidance, or maybe the right kind of, you could guide others in the right way, or the government comes forward to assist you on this project, because you want to save that, and you want to preserve it. So that's the preservation part is very important, to preserve the history of our country, and especially the remote villages where, we have hidden treasures over there, like what type of lifestyle they had. Everything might have been documented very well according to them. We have to decode all of that. That's really very nice. Very, very impressive. Right from, being a professor, coming back again to the rocks, being a researcher over there, trying to get and collect data. That's really nice. Now, when did your interest start with rocks?
It started with the time when I got associated with Pasumainadai team. So this Pasumainadai team is a team in Madurai, which takes the citizens of Madurai, common people of Madurai, to such historical important places. And they explain things to us. They make us understand. And being a grandson of a Tamil doctorate granny, so I was so much attached towards Tamil, and I was so much interested in it. And when it was not given proper importance, I just wanted to do my part. I'd always believed that instead of blaming others for not getting things done, or instead of blaming the system, we can, even if it is small, we can contribute to what we could to the society. So it's better to contribute a small part than to sit and blame the system. So I used to think in that way, and I just started doing, and it brought me here.
Wonderful thought process. Instead of blaming the system or blaming XYZ, we take the initiative. So and do something. That's really very, very impressive. So very nice. In fact, imagine if India has everybody thinking on the lines that you think, that would really be very impressive. And I think the entire world, if you start thinking like this on these terms, like don't blame the system, don't blame the family, or don't blame XYZ. Just you do your job. You find your purpose. What is it? And your calling, your interests. That's really very nice.
Thank you.
It's really a pleasure to have had you share all of that. That's really very inspiring. Now you appear somebody magical. That's the truth to tell you. Like you're one of those guests, like who's really genuinely interested in doing something for people or getting to know the facts. Like many of them are just comfortable with what is going on, but you want to get behind facts, you want to get behind the scientific terms and all of that. Now, sir, you also are connected with something connected with the eyes. Now, that's also very important. If you could share that with us. And I don't know if I pronounced all those words correctly. Now you're going to correct me and share your journey with regard to our eye care.
Sure, you did pronounce it correctly. All the terms were rightly pronounced. No, yes. My journey with the Aravind Eye Care System started when I was in school. Like when I was in 12th standard, I came here to Aravind to engage children in summer camp programs. They used to have summer camp programs for the children of the faculty staff working there. So my first visit to Aravind was to engage them. And it was a 10 to 12 days long summer camp program. And I was there engaging the children, organizing some games or play things for them. And it was like that. And later when I joined the college, my working days of college was from 1:30 to 6:30. It was a half day college, and the morning half I was free in my home. So at that time, I came to know about this retinoblastoma project that was going on in Aravind. So Chitra ma'am was the one who introduced me to the retinoblastoma project, and Dr. Usha Kim was the head of that project. So retinoblastoma is eye cancer that mainly affects children who are less than 3 or 4 years old. It could be inherited by it could be inherited by birth, or it is an inherited disease. It's genetically related. The children could be born with that disease, or they can start getting affected to that disease in a little later period of time, like when they are in 3 or 4 years, or even when they are in 7 or 8 years. This disease could start on at any period of young age, or it could come by birth. So that is what the disease is. And the main identification thing of the disease is a white circle in the cornea. Right? The pupil used to look white. So normally the pupil of individuals would be black in color, or if a flash hits on it, it would turn red in color. We would call it a red eye effect, but this would cause a white eye effect. So that's what is called as leukocoria, the white eye formation. So with this, when a light hits a retinoblastoma affected child's eye, it would reflect black in white color. The black pupil would reflect black in white color. So that is the identification. That's how you should early identify retinoblastoma. And this was a disease that is not again well known to the public. So most of the times, or a good many number of times, they used to be ignorant of that disease at the early stage. There are 5 stages of this disease from A, B, C, D, E. And in A or B stage, I don't want to get too much into the medical thing because I'm not a doctor as well. It's all that I learned when I was in that project. So in the early stages, A or B stage, it could be reduced with chemotherapy alone. There are possibilities for us to get rid of this disease at the early stage A or B, if it is identified in A or B. When it comes to C, D, or E, when it comes to C, it's half, like a 50-50 chance of getting it reduced in chemotherapy, or you have to enucleate the eye. Enucleation means you have to remove the entire eye. It's just like removing any part of the body to stop avoiding spreading of cancer. Like it's normal in a case of cancer. If you want to stop spreading it, you have to then remove that part of the body. So that's how it works with retinoblastoma as well. And if it is in D or E stage, then you have to certainly remove the eye out of its socket. That is called enucleation. And they will be placing a fake eyeball, and then they will be placing a prosthetic eye. For prosthesis, they will be setting an artificial eye. So this affects mainly the children, that is below 4 or 5 years. It starts by the period then. And my role initially started with just maintaining the data, like the number of children who were affected by retinoblastoma and all their clinical symptoms, what they showed. Sometimes there would be bulging of eye, or it would have been ruptured eye. The tissues around the eye would have ruptured, and it would have protruded out. So that in later stages, the symptoms were like that, and in early stages, it was just a white reflex on the eye. So it started with recording their symptoms, early symptoms, and then what sort of treatment they were going through. I used to have to maintain all those data. So the number of cycles of chemotherapy they have to undergo, and how they have responded back to the chemotherapy. Do they need any other supportive drug for them? All these things, I had to record all these things. This was my initial role. And then I got involved in arranging Survivors Day. We used to have World Retinoblastoma Week in May month. And on that day, Aravind used to call upon all its retinoblastoma survivors from the past who had all retinoblastoma and who are after treatment who had survived. They used to call them, and we used to arrange the events for them. So that was some good thing to see such survivors. They were real motivations in that young age. They had fought a very big war even before they have started to know about life. They have fought a very big war, and now we can see them being happy with what they have. We can't come when seeing them, we can't complain about things that we have and that we don't have. They were satisfied with what they have, and it was a very big thing for them too, because the primary aim in treating a retinoblastoma patient was to save their life, and then only comes the saving of vision. So first we have to save their life. For that, if they have to lose their vision, they have to, because life comes first. And if not, then we will try to save the vision as well. So that's how it works. But still, the children were very thankful for what they have. They were very satisfied for what they had. And I think I should thank Aravind and Dr. Usha Kim for that, for giving me such experience and for enlightening for supporting so many children. And the main thing about Ring of Hope project is that it doesn't charge even a penny for those treatments. All those treatments were free of cost to the children, because most of the children are from very rural background who can't afford chemotherapies, surgeries, their travel expenses. Even that was made free for them. So if we identify a child with retinoblastoma who can't afford for treatments, then even their travel cost was on Aravind. So we just give them amount for their travel. Their stay was free, their food was free, and all their treatments were free. So this was something great, and I am proud to be a part of it. So it started like that, and then we developed a software, an app for identifying this white reflex in the eye. So it was a screening app. Everyone can have it on their phone. And when they have a baby, they can periodically just take a photograph in that app, and it would mark if there is retinoblastoma. So it was an easy way of screening. Like anyone can screen. They did not come to the hospital. So anyone who knows about retinoblastoma can do it in their home. So this would, in case if the child is affected with retinoblastoma, this could aid in an early identification of retinoblastoma, and we can save both vision and life. So it becomes more complicated when there is no early presentation. Like there are a lot of parents who would bring a child with a huge eyeball that would have bulged and protruded out of the socket, which is like they should have given proper attention to that much earlier. So because if the cancer starts spreading, it starts spreading through the optic nerve head and to the brain or to the spinal cord and to other parts of the body. If metastasis started happening, then it would be very hard to save the life of that child. So to avoid all these, we developed a screening app that could just detect the retinoblastoma through a photograph. So I also worked in training that app for a short period of time. And then again, in a particular year, in 2020, we had 50 patients of retinoblastoma, and I also studied their post chemotherapy outcome and visual outcome post chemotherapy. So this was my work with retinoblastoma, and also I had the chance to explore a few more cancers like NHL, adenoid cystic carcinoma, AAC, and one was a lymphoma and another one was carcinoma. So I had a little exposure to those diseases as well. So I should be thankful that I got introduced to such fields. This gave me a good experience in clinical management of patients and also on how, like, this was majority of these things will be similar to other cancer treatments as well. Like chemo, let it be the chemotherapy or let it be the enucleation. So I got introduced to cancer biology in that state.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. Very, very interesting and, very helpful. Many of us were, even I was unaware of all of this. Just now when you shared that, I was aware now. See, you're creating awareness through this platform. That's really very nice. Very interested in knowing more about the human body, especially with the vision, as you mentioned there. Saving life comes first and then the vision. Once life threat is, saved, I mean, the threat to life is saved, then the vision also you could work on the vision part. You shared it very well. You have a lot of, how if you to put it in the right way, let me put it in the right way. You have a lot of concern for humanity. Not only humanity, you also have concern for the environment as well. That's really very nice. It's not only like the human beings, the higher species to say. You're also connected with the birds, with the rocks, and with everything. That's really wonderful, sir. One request I have is I would like you to share your time once more for us on International Fab Talks to create awareness with the various cancers that you already are connected with. Like you have some knowledge about it. There's still a lot of to ask you. Like this 1 hour won't be sufficient. So I would request you if you could share your time at your convenience. I would really thank you for that and our audience as well.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, we can do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your time today. I respect the time that you shared and you've really done a great amount of justice. I mean, you did not speak about yourself. You spoke about, the work that you are doing, how it could influence people, how people could be benefiting from that, how could things be saved, how could things be preserved and all of that. That's really very nice and very impressive. Looking forward to the next interaction with you very soon. Thank you and stay blessed and may your tribe increase. And I would love each one of us to be like that, interested in doing something. So today you have really made me think, look beyond everything. You can do so many things. You need not only be focused on one particular job, like being a professor and it's done. So you're like into being a writer, you're into research, you're into, getting information from the rocks and, collecting the data, wanting it to be preserved and saved. And you're connected with the health sector, with vision, with cancer, and there's much, much more. So I said you have a wonderful profile, and I'm sure to see you on the international scene very soon. Such type of people like you should really have a vast exposure where other people, the youngsters, could derive a lot of inspiration. That's up to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here and for spending 1 hour to know about me. It itself is a very sweet thing for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you for being so humble, sir. We look forward to the next interaction very soon. Lots of love to your grandmother and to all your family members who have stood with you till date and who have molded and transformed you into a fine gentleman. Stay blessed.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. It was a lovely learning experience, a great awareness session, particularly for me and my team. And I'm sure many of you too could take a lot of beautiful tips and information that has been shared here with us. We promise to bring back Ahil sir once again on this platform to share more about life and how we could save ourselves from various kinds of diseases and get connected in the right way with our environment. With this, we'd like to sign off from the International Fab Talks. Before we sign off, we have a request. Please do share this video with the right kind of people. You never know who may be impressed, who may really transform their thought process. It could be a young student, it could be a youth, a youngster, a middle-aged person, or a senior citizen. If Ahil could do it, we could really emulate his example, or we could follow his footsteps, and we could also become something in our lives. Age is not the criteria. At any age, you can begin your journey and contribute in the right way to the society. With this, we'd like to sign off. And if you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to love yourself, your family, and the universe. Stay blessed. Thank you, sir.